Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more buckshot testing today. And I've got a pretty interesting combination to try out that, number one, we haven't seen in a while, and number two, I really don't know how it's going to do. So I'm really interested to try it out and see what happens, because it could be really good, it could be kind of subpar. I really don't know. But as for the load we're going to be testing out today, I managed to pick up some of these that I saw for a good deal the other day. These are some Herter's 12 gauge double-aught buck shells. They are a 2 3/4 inch 9 pellet double-aught buck going 1325 feet per second, so the box says here. And something interesting that I just so happen to have here is a little comparison. Now, the Herter shells are loaded by Winchester. They are essentially Winchester shells with the Herter's brand name on them for Cabela's. So I happen to look around and I have some Winchester double-aught buck shells, and they show the exact same number on the box, 1325 feet per second, 9 pellet double-aught buck, 2 3/4 inch. Exact same numbers on the box here. However, if you look at the shells, they are slightly different. I don't know how well it'll come across on camera, but the brass on the black Herter shell is a little bit taller. The crimps on the shells are ever so slightly different as well. And the head stamps both say Winchester 12 gauge on them, but the black Herter shell over here has a much sharper edge around the case, as well as they have a different primer and a different font stamp on the head stamp here. Maybe we should test the Winchester versus the Herter side by side if that's something you guys want to see. But these are slightly different shells, it would seem. But as for the setup we're going to be running them in today, a lot of you guys requested to see the Mossberg 835 with a slightly more open constriction choke here. So that's what I went and did. I brought out my 835 Ulti-Mag here, and in the end of the gun is the stock full choke for the gun, which, if you've seen the last video we tested with this Mossberg, I also had a stock full choke in the gun. Well, that was labeled more as a turkey full, if you will. This is the regular lead full. It's a little bit more open constriction. I think this is a 740 constriction versus a 710 for the turkey full, so it is more open. But mathematically, since this is an overboard shotgun, this is the quote-unquote real normal full choke for the gun. So we will see how that combination does. But either way, if you've not seen what we do with these buckshot tests, I have a piece of paper set up over here at 40 yards with an aim point drawn on it. I'll head back up to 40 yards, shoot the round across our chronograph. We'll take a look at what we got for speed, and then we'll go look at our target and see how our overall pattern looks. Then I also have some circle templates as well as some animal templates that we can lay over it and see how they would have done in a pattern type scenario and a hunting style scenario. So let's go over here and get you guys set up on the chronograph, shoot our round, look at our velocity, and then go see how they did down there at the paper. Alright, so looking at our chronograph here, we got 1361 feet per second. The box called for 1325, so we are a little bit above what the box called for. So let's go look at our 40-yard paper and put some templates up and draw some circles and see what we got down there for performance. Alright, now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and I'm a little bit disappointed on one hand, but on the other hand, it did kind of okay for us. And I'll talk about that more here in a minute. But let's at least look and see how it performed first. So we have 8 of our 9 pellets out of that load on this paper here. We had one right in our aim point right there, as well as a couple more right around it here, pretty close. Then we had one up high, one up even higher that barely clipped the edge of the paper, and one all the way over in the top left corner there. For a size reference, that's a 36-inch wide piece of paper by roughly a 36-inch tall piece. So even though we only had 9 pellets in this load instead of 12 or 15, I'm still kind of in the middle or on the fence about it. But either way, let's throw up some templates here and see how it would have done with some circles and in some more hunting style scenarios here. Alright, so here's our 10-inch circle, and as you can see, we have 3 pellets within that 10-inch circle, and one that hit right where we were aiming at right there, so that's definitely a bonus. But overall, we only had 3 in there, and of course, the other 6 were outside of that 10-inch circle, so if you were going for a super tight group, then not really the most ideal pattern here. But let's throw a 30-inch circle up on here and see what we got for that. Alright, now we're looking at our 30-inch circle here, and with our aim point centered up, we had 6 of our 9 pellets within a 30-inch circle. I would have liked to have seen all 9 of them within that 30-inch circle, but we got the results we got out of this one. So let's throw a deer template up and see how it would have done in a hunting style scenario. Alright, now we're looking at our deer template here. And as you can see, we have a front leg down here and his neck just starts to go off to the right. So I centered our aim point up with right in that front shoulder, lung, heart, vitals type of area. And we had 4 hits on this deer total here. But I will say all 4 of those hits are kind of right in the area, right where you would really want them. So I would say at least probably definitely the one in our aim point. And maybe this one off to the right here caught something as well. But we would definitely have a dead deer here for sure. So let's put our hog template up and see what it looks like for those of you hog hunters out there as well. Alright, so now we're looking at our hog template, and this is about a mid-size hog. It's not too big, not too small. And obviously his neck just starts to go off to the right over here again. So if we line up our point of aim with where we would kind of want it to be on this hog, we had 5 total pellets hit this hog. And once again, pretty much just like the deer, we had these 4 right here that would have definitely been pretty viable hits. At least these 2 up here, definitely. But we did have one up here that very well could have hit something spinal related. But overall here, if we look, I would say we definitely have a dead hog. Alright, well, what did you guys think about how these performed? I think it's pretty interesting, like I was saying earlier, which I am not really sure how to feel about that 835 so far with buckshot. We've tested it 2 or 3 times now, and it really has not shown any super impressive results. We've tried it with this little bit more open choke, we've tried it with a little bit tighter choke, and it really hasn't done a whole lot for us, really, to be honest. It has done well enough to do the job just fine. But compared to like my 1187, I would rather go with the 1187 so far from what I've seen. But let me know what you guys think and what has been your experience with these 835s and buckshot. And let me know, should we do kind of a side-by-side between those and the Winchester loads that say the exact same numbers to see if there's a real difference or not. But either way, I've got a bunch more testing to get done out here today in this heat, so I'm going to jump back to it. Stay tuned because we've got plenty more really interesting stuff coming out. And with that being said, I'll see y'all in the next one.